It's been 7 weeks since Karen Reed was acquitted of second-degree murder for the death of Officer John O'Keefe. You would think that things would have calmed down a little bit in Norfolk County after that, but that is definitely not the case. I want to give y'all the latest updates and announcements that you may have missed since the end of trial. Now, let's start with reactions. While Karen Reed supporters looked at the acquittal as a type of kind of vindication, the Albert and McCabe families don't necessarily feel the same way. In a statement released after the verdict, they said that the prosecution was infected by lies and conspiracy theories spread by Karen, her defense team, and some in the media. Now, there have also been a few motions that have been filed since the verdict was read. For one, Karen Reed and her legal team requested the return of her Lexus SUV that was seized, as well as cell phones. Now, there were 3 cell phones that were taken by Massachusetts State Police. Her personal phone that was seized the day that they took her Lexus SUV, and 2 other phones that were seized in January of 2024 when Special Prosecutor Ken Mello attempted to have Karen and Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, indicted on witness intimidation charges. Now, that attempt failed when a grand jury returned a no bill, which means there wasn't evidence that suggests that any crime was committed. Normally, that's when the cell phones would probably have been turned back over, but not in this case. For some reason, the Norfolk District Attorney's Office did not respond to the request, so another request was made by Karen and her team. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the criminal trial may be over, but the wrongful death civil lawsuit filed by the O'Keefe family in August of last year is still ongoing. And in case you missed it, we just recently heard that her defense attorneys, Alan Jackson and Liza Little, are actually joining the civil defense team as well. That's big. And they're going at it with full force, y'all. They have sent subpoenas to Massachusetts State Police and Norfolk County District Attorney's Office with intent to get access to records related to the federal investigation, including communication between Norfolk DA's office and the federal investigators in relation to the Sandra Birchmore case. Now, they're also asking for records related to the criminal trial witnesses and, of course, a former trooper, Michael Proctor, which brings us to our next topic, Proctor. Now, Proctor was fired last year around the same time as the first trial, and he was relieved of his duties in July of last year after that trial ended in a hung jury. A Massachusetts State Police Internal Trial Board determined that Proctor shared sensitive case information with non-law enforcement individuals, and of course, that's not allowed. Also, they say that he violated the alcohol policy when he drank on duty with Kevin Albert. And of course, there's those gross text messages that he sent to the group chat about Karen Reed. Now, the board determined that Proctor damaged the department's credibility and gave the appearance of bias, so he was relieved of duties. But Proctor is not backing down yet. He's appealing his termination, and this month he appeared, at least on camera, before the Massachusetts Civil Service Commission, appealing that termination. According to Boston 25 News, Proctor's lawyers plan on using a 2-prong approach to argue the decision to fire him. First, they want to argue that there was no just cause to fire him based on the alleged misconduct. Second, they want to show that his punishment was what they say is disproportionate. They claim that he was treated more harshly than other state troopers under similar circumstances. Now, his attorney has requested more than 200 disciplinary files so that they can use those to compare to kind of show that this is apparently what they say is too harsh. But as of the time of this recording, I think that out of those 200, they've only got like 5 so far. Now, Proctor's first formal status conference was August 4th, and there's another scheduled for the end of this month, I think the 26th and 27th, so that they can hear from state police officials who will also be cross-examined by Proctor's legal team. Now, additional proceedings could even continue into October, so we'll see how it goes. But that's not the only thing happening with Proctor right now. There's actually a case in Norfolk County that has been making headlines because of some of the people involved and what's happening with them. So on August 5th, the day after Proctor's hearing was scheduled, he was back in Dedham for an evidentiary hearing in the case against Miles King. Now, King is charged with the first-degree murder of Marquise Simmons, who the Commonwealth alleges he shot and killed in July of 2021. Now, obviously, this was more than 4 years ago, and former Trooper Proctor led that investigation against Miles King, and ADA Adam Lally was assigned to prosecute it. But there are so many problems here, y'all. The defense has brought up some big concerns about missing evidence. Does that sound familiar? There are 6 search warrants that were not disclosed to the defense until spring of this year, as in spring of 2025. But the search warrants were actually executed years ago before they even indicted Miles King. Now, the defense attorney, Rosemary Scapicchio, was questioning Lally. Now, you may remember Rosemary from the Cara Rentala trial, which was cited in multiple motions during Karen's case, and also as the attorney for Sean K. Ellis. Now, Sean K. Ellis was wrongfully convicted, and Rosemary actually helped exonerate him, and his conviction was overturned. There's a Netflix documentary about the whole thing called Trial 4. I highly, highly recommend it. So Rosemary, she means business, y'all. And in the hearing where she was questioning Lally, it was kind of crazy because she would ask him about these search warrants and the documents. And he basically said, yeah, I kept asking Proctor for them, but nothing got turned over. As if it were just no big deal that that was happening. These are the exact kind of major discovery violations that the defense in Karen Read's trial complained about with the Norfolk DA's office. Like, how many times do you have to ask for discovery that is required to be turned over before you realize that's a problem? It's been 4 years. So the court ordered both sides to kind of go through it all and identify what evidence is new and demonstrate prejudice that could present itself if they are introducing this so late or putting it in scraps. It's giving Sallyport video. Now, there's another hearing set for August 12th to address these issues with discovery. So I will be watching to see what happens there. So that's it for now. There's so much going on, and I'll be keeping a close eye on all of it. So make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss any updates. Let me know what y'all think of all of this happening in comments, and I will see you very soon right here on Crime Junkie Jury.